Jacqueline Wheble is an assistant head teacher at Pictor Special Needs Primary School in Timperley, Manchester. Jackie's role at the school is an intensive and demanding one. Besides her duties as assistant head teacher, she is also a behaviour support leader and a team teach tutor.
It's fair enough because she doesn't want to destroy it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden...
On top of this, she teaches the youngest children on the Autistic Spectrum 4 days a week. Although Jackie tries to juggle all these roles as best she can, she feels her organisational standards have slipped and she is slowly sliding into chaos. And the chaos doesn't end at school. Jackie is so tired by the time she gets home, she finds she has no energy left for household tasks. Jackie lives with her partner Stuart, also a busy teacher, and Bee the dog. Currently, they are in the process of doing minor renovations to their house. These tasks, however, have been left to Stuart, as have many other aspects of home life, including walking Bee. Concerned that Bee would soon forget who she was, Jackie asked Teachers TV,
"How can I find time to walk my dog?" What I hope to gain after spending some time with Gladeana is that she can pinpoint where I'm going wrong, what it is that I'm doing that means I still can't pace myself after this many years teaching. I'd really like it if she could give me some tips on why I end up with a huge pile of stuff even though I try and start from scratch each time, even though I try to manage and organise. Because if there is a solution out there, then I really want it.
Life coach Gladeana McMahon may not be able to perform a makeover on Jackie's house, but she is certainly up to the task of performing one on her.
Jackie, nice to meet you. I'm Gladeana.
So Jackie, how can I help?
Well, I'd like you to help me be able to manage my workload. I always have 100 things to do, never seem to finish anything. End up taking it all home, leaving things to the last minute. So I'd like to be able to feel like I was in control, that I knew what I was doing, and that I went to bed early at a reasonable time and I had time to walk my dog. So I never walk her.
Oh, and apart from not having enough time, what's the impact of the overload and disorganisation on you?
I think during term time, I'm working at such a pitch that I just collapse at the weekends.
Okay.
I don't do anything and I don't want to do anything. The house is half decorated, and sometimes, you know, in the holidays you get poorly because you've been working at such a pitch.
So what kinds of things have you tried in the past to change the situation?
Well, I've got my diary and I write down my to-do list and just add to it, really. It gets bigger and bigger. And I tried colour-coordinated files, but they just kind of got filled up, really, with more stuff. And I tried being really, only on that day will I deal with management things and write everything down. But of course other things happen in schools and you get called away and you do other things and you come back and you've forgotten what you were meant to do in the first place.
So it sounds like there's a real pattern there of sort of starting out with all these good intentions and this is what you're going to do, and then somehow it all gets lost, and then by the end of the term it's like, oh, we're here again.
Yeah.
How did I get here?
It does, yeah. Each summer holiday I say, right, you know, I'm going to sort all that out and start from scratch again, and it just, I don't know how it happens. It gets out of my control.
So Jackie, it sounds like we've got a bit of work on our hands here. We better get started.
Okay, thanks.
Gladeana spent a day with Jackie at the school to see how she balanced her teaching and managerial roles, and most importantly, to take a look at her organisation and administration methods.
Now, Jackie is committed. She loves doing what she does. But that girl is her own worst enemy when it comes to things like organisation. And I tend to think when she starts to think about all the things she should be doing, the sort of demands she makes on herself are totally unrealistic. But that's okay, because I'm going to sort her out.
So, you know, that can be...
Gladeana sat Jackie down at home to talk about the observations she's made during the course of the day regarding her organisational skills, or lack of them.
Yeah, that's very true.
So Jackie, you know, I've been watching you and there's a few things I think that we could talk about. You know, you're a tremendous teacher. I've seen you with the kids and you are so good with them, and you so obviously have rapport with them and are able to manage them. However, your administration is a nightmare. Perhaps perhaps there's a little bit left to be desired.
Perhaps.
Just a little bit. But you know, the thing that I think is really at the bottom of all this is the way that you very much do this all or nothing idea. You know, you either sort of start something or you don't. You know, the concept of doing a bit in the middle doesn't really seem to come into it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe what we're saying is that to a degree, your own worst enemy.
I could, yes, possibly. But how do you unpick that if that's your mode of behaviour? That's you go back into what you're comfortable with, don't you?
So you tell me, what's one of the key ways that people actually change their behaviour?
Well, you teach the person strategies for coping, for dealing. You change the environment. You teach them self-management skills, and I'm explaining exactly what you want me to do, aren't I?
Absolutely. And I mean, if we think about it, I think there's a number of strategies for you that you could put into place. And I think the first one is just recognising that when you polarise the way that you do, maybe the question is, do you have to do everything at once? Or could you do some of it now and come back to some of it later? So that's one of the tasks I'd like to set you.
Right.
Okay, which is to break things down
Yeah.
into smaller units.
Right.
Yeah, and to think in terms of getting a percentage of a task completed. So, you know, breaking it like, say, a third, and a third in that respect. Now, if we look at your time management, for example, one of the things that you're going to need to do is to follow the ABC model. So A are all those tasks, those action tasks that have to be done now. B are the tasks that can wait for 48, 72 hours. And C, kind of nice, but if you never get round to them, then whatever. And bear in mind, all those tasks will go up as time goes on. And what I want you to do is to get 3 different colour post-it notes to represent A, B and C, and every time you look at a job, put a post-it note on it to tell you whether it's an A, B and a C task. The other thing you need to do is to have a place where all your A tasks go, so that during the day you're looking at what are my A tasks. The other thing is you've got a very nice file of facts.
I have.
I want you to turn it into your secretary. And the way that you do that is you've got your A, B and C tasks there. So when you know that there are deadlines, start writing them in that file of facts as if it was a secretary who'd say to you, oh, by the way, in, you know, this time next week, this report's due. Yeah, so you can have a pre-warning one that says, oh, just remember next Monday's whatever, as well as actually having the deadline date in there. Okay, so how do you feel about putting all these things into action?
I think I could do it, actually. I think they make sense to me. I think it'll take a while because there's such a sort of backlog and such a sort of collection. And it also makes more sense because I do lots of filing and put things in files and the files just get bigger. So I wish someone had told me a long time ago.
That is absolutely fantastic. And of course the other thing is I'll be back.
Yes, you'll be looking for my post-it notes.
I will, I'll be coming in and checking, you know.
As long as I don't start sticking them to staff. You're an A, you're a B, you're a C.
Well, that could be interesting.
For the next couple of weeks, Jackie set about the tasks Gladeana had given her.
So the first thing I want to pick up on is where you said, what I do is when she has a crisis...
Jackie created herself a system that would give her a much better work-life balance.
I think the tips that Gladeana has given me and the kind of talk, she was very perceptive. She really got to the heart of things, and she didn't let you carry on thinking about things in the same way. It's actually made me step back and look at my working habits that I'd fallen into. So I found them really useful. And I think I'll carry on. They're seeping into the rest of my life as well, and making me feel more organised and less stressed.
Gladeana returned to see if Jackie had followed the ABC rules.
Hi, Jackie. Hi, Gladeana. Nice to see you. I think you're
So Jackie, how have things been since I last saw you?
Much better. I feel like I've got a handle on things. I've taken some of your systems, like you said. I've been very good. And I've actually been working.
Now, I think when we were talking, we talked about having some A, B and C tasks. So tell me about that. How's that been working?
really good. In fact, everyone in school keeps saying, is that an A or a B or a C? It's really helped. Do you want to see?
Yeah, please.
I've had an idea. I ended up buying some folders.
Oh, great.
So I've got an A, B, and a C. So instead of piling through huge piles and piles of things to try and work out what I could do in the time, I just go straight to my A folder and start there.
And what about the post-it note idea?
I've got my colour post-it notes dotted all over, and I've got my yellows
Yeah.
for my A's, and my pinks and my blues.
So what about your file of facts? Because you've got that there. We talked about you using that as your secretary. So how's that been working?
Well, I went through it with a dose of salt,
Uh-huh.
and the list I've made was just, it just went on and on and on and on and on. And again, there were things on there that had just been forgotten, really. And I've made myself an A and a B list side by side, and I've actually swapped things back and forth and thought, no, that's not an A, that's just a B.
Right.
And a C list as well. I also bought myself a year planner as well for next year, January, so that I can do the deadline dates and see across.
Wonderful. So, what do you think you've learned from this experience?
Lots of people have jobs that have too much to do, and that it's not actually my fault that I can't get through everything, and it's not being not a good manager. It's about organising things, it's about having a system, knowing where you're going to put things, and that it doesn't matter if you've got lots of C's, because you will get round to it eventually, but you'll get the important things done first.
Fabulous. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, isn't Jackie wonderful? She's taken on board all the systems, and now what she's got is she's got a structure, and it really is as simple as ABC, you know. And with that structure, she'll be able to now manage all the things that she needs to do. Sure, there'll be a lot of pressure on her sometimes, but you know, when you know where everything is and you know what you have to do first, I tell you, that's a big start.
You take care.
I will do. And have a lovely Christmas.
Oh, thank you. That's really sweet.
You're really
You
helped.
keep up the good work.
I will. Thank you.
I feel a lot more relaxed at home, and I've decided to just work on certain days, and I can just go for my A list and work it round, because there's always some things that need doing. But I feel a lot more in control, and that means I just feel less stressed at home. I've actually managed to do a little bit of DIY, not too much, but I'm planned it now. I've planned when I'm actually going to do it, and I've taken the dog out a few more times, so I feel like I'm pulling my weight a bit more. Basically, I just feel like I can get off to sleep, and I can stop worrying. Because I know it's in hand, and I know there's a plan, and it will get better. Stuart and I have spent some more time chatting. He was quite interested in what the advice was, and that was quite pertinent, some of the things that Gladeana said. So we spent a few more evenings together, a few more times talking, rather than, you know, nosing the paperwork and saying hi and, do you live here? And I think it's been really good for us. B has had a few more walks. Instead of looking at me with a kind of, oh, you're not going to do anything, she's actually thought, oh, she might take me out. So she's had a few walks from me, as well as not just Stu. And so I feel like a bit more like her owner.
So there we have it. Gladeana's organisational makeover has been a success for Jackie, and much to Stuart's delight, Jackie is attempting her own makeover on the house. And as for B, well, she would join in, but she's exhausted after all those walks.